Hi, Ajit. Another short question we received
Yes.
from our students.
Yeah.
Once we had a case when you prescribed Symphytum, and this Symphytum was prescribed on based of general understanding that Symphytum is not only the remedy for a fracture in a material body, but it's a good remedy for fracture in emotional and even mental states. So can you explore a little bit about this mental mind picture of Symphytum?
Yeah. Okay. 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 The first thing very important is that the idea of bone fracture is not the only idea related to the bone as an organ in symphytum. Homeopathy doesn't work with the single solo entity. Homeopathy is a blend of universal symbolism. So the idea in symphytum of the fracture is also related to the fractured life. It is related to the fractured interrelationships. Now, what is there in the symphytum? The first thing, it has a very great action over bones. Those bones which give stability to our life. And these bones are fragile. These bones are prone to fractures. So the stability of life itself is prone to fracture. You are not standing on some sound, strong pillars of the life. Your bones are weak. Your bones are prone to have cracks. They may go into osteoporosis. They may go into very severe pain in the bones. So with this condition, first thing, the personality of symphytum is very fragile, like Cilicia, for example. This is point number one to be taken into account. Now, why this state come up in uh, symphytum? So there is a rubric in symphytum that is elements from domination. Someone right from the childhood started dominating you. So you are not given any opportunity to stand up of your own. You were rejected. You were kept so much, you see, capsulized in a shell. So you do not develop a strong personality of your own. So domination goes for a yielding personality. You yield to the others. It's like you see someone told you your bones are extremely painful, you cannot walk. But someone told you, you must walk today 5 kilometers to bring this from the market for me. So you have to go 5 kilometers away with painful, you see, bones and come back. This is the state. So it is as if this domination makes you more fragile, more painful. You know, I first use a symphytum in a very interesting case of multiple myeloma. And the lady had very severe bone pains. You know, there is a hypercalcinosis in multiple myeloma. The calcium gets more deposited in the bones and the bones become fragile. And there are microfractures. And there are thousands of microfractures which gets formed in multiple myeloma. So can you see how much is the bone pain? With a small fracture, how much is the pain?
Yeah.
So the whole body goes into very severe pain. And one of the remedies against this is symphytum. So symphytum ameliorated the pain in the bones in this case even better than the you see painkiller, non-steroidal, non-inflammatory drugs, and even you see the morphine. She used to take morphine injections, but with symphytum she felt much better, so we could avoid morphine injections.
It's
This is a
interesting,
very,
sorry to interrupt, but it's interesting in
yeah,
cases where new soldiers are coming to
yeah,
the army and
Yeah.
in first few weeks they are
Yeah.
going through this long distance, running and walking and running and walking, and many of them has these fractures of intense physical exercises and so on. So it could be that it's very good remedy for such states. First of all, it's a domination. So your elements from domination from one side, and from another side, this is a fracture or near to fracture state because of physical situation.
And with this fragility, there is a irresoluteness. So patient becomes indecisive, patient goes into a brooding state, and then he loses the very go of life and then becomes helpless. You know, in helplessness, we just discussed taxus baccata in our earlier presentation. Now we have symphytum in helplessness, but the very basis is different. Fragility is the cause of helplessness. I cannot do it. I cannot walk. I have very severe pain. And so this pain is of two types, bone pain and the pain of grief, pain of injustice, pain of domination. And then brooding becomes a part of the symphytum. So you will find like Netrum muriaticum, like conium, which is also trauma remedy. You will find the symphytum in the rubric brooding.
By the way, in general, short question, then we will come shortly to symphytum. Conium in this rubric, elements from trauma to glands. This is, I think that this is a major remedy in this.
Yeah.
So, can you explore why conium for glands?
Yeah, basically, if you see, conium has action over glands. Gland is not a concept only limited to lymphoid glands. Liver is a gland, ovary is a gland. You will find all hormone structures are the glandular structures. So naturally, if you see conium, it has action over uterus, ovaries, lymphoid tissues, lymphoma, Hodgkin's, you see lymphoma, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, many types of glandular cancers. So you will find conium has a chief action over glands. Then conium is also remedy for trauma, like arnica montana. Arnica is more for the muscles. Hypericum is more for the nerves. Ruta is more for the ligaments, whereas conium is more for the glands. If there is a trauma to the bone also and consequent cancer formation, you will find conium also indicated. So conium shares a very big, you see, remedy relationship about the injury remedies in homeopathy. There is a very good relationship which is given by, you will find, which is given by Tarkus. Non-traumatic conium is hydrastis. You see, non-traumatic conium is hydrastis because hydrastis has no trauma. But all other symptoms of conium like hardness, like stony hardness, like cancer, like gastrointestinal tract disturbances, even severe weakness, these all the points share with hydrastis the same. So just with this difference, you see, sentence, you have a, you see, relationship with hydrastis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it seems that this injury or elements from injury to glands conium, it's kind of intensify influence of something to the same areas like testicles or other glands with in chronic diseases where these glands gradually stop to work.
Yeah.
So it could be acute conium and it could be chronic conium.
Actually, you see, you are bringing a very big point of remedies. You know, conium is listed under the rubric gradually shutting down the functions. You will find in conium same stage, carbonium sulfur atom same stage, plumbum metallicum the same, gradually shutting down of the function, especially of the sense organs. This is also conium. So conium is for you see hardness of hearing. Cone is also for anosmia. Cone is also for memory weakness. So it is as if every organ which is affected loses its function in a very gradual way. It is not rapid like the venons. Yeah.
Yeah. So coming back to Symphytum and maybe to conclude Symphytum,
Yeah.
this journey from being in situation of domination and then yielding and irresolution, helplessness, brooding, and then even
Indifference also. Indifference.
indifference at the end,
Yeah.
it could bring a Symphytum, and Symphytum can bring back this
Restoration of health.
restoration.
Restoration of
Yes.
health, the language of Hanuman.
Ajit, thank you very, very much for this short presentation of Symphytum and other remedies. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay. Yes.